Hello and welcome to Dairyland Frights. I'm John, your host for the Paranormal podcast that covers everything spooky, creepy, and mysterious in the Midwest and beyond. Today on the podcast, I almost said tonight, my guests are, I saw their stuff and I said, not only are they spooky, but they're strange. And that is right in my wheelhouse. I love that. So I have Bri and Christiana from Something Strange Pod. Hello, welcome.
Hello. Thank you so much for having us on.
I love it. I love you guys' stuff. It spooked me. It scared me. I said, it's strange. It's spooky. Let's go. We got to do this.
Yes.
So tell my spooky friends who may not be familiar with you, but they will after this episode, because I love my paranormal friends and I want to give you all the love I can, because the more spookier, the better. That's the way I look at it. So tell me a little bit about, you guys, like how you got started and what kind of got you going doing a podcast, and why about paranormal? So I know that's a lot of questions, but.
So this is actually our second podcast. We decided to originally do a podcast about a book and TV series we really liked.
Yes. It's like a recap podcast kind of thing.
Yes. And that was 2 years ago now.
Yeah. Something like that.
And during the end of that podcast, like when we were getting to the end of the book and the TV show, we started doing these little deep dives into adjacent things. And that kind of turned into Something Strange because it was very similar. The book and TV series was Good Omens.
Yeah. Nice.
Then we figured, we kind of looked at each other and said, this series is going to be finite. Like, we're not going to be able to just do this forever. So what do we want to do after this? And we're like, well, we both like weird things.
I love it. I love that. So again, what do you guys cover on your podcast? Like, I know what you cover because I looked at it and I love it, like I said, but my spooky friends who may not be familiar with you, what do you guys like to cover?
You want me to jump in?
Yep, go for it.
So we're Something Strange, and it's pretty much what it says on the tin. We do anything from paranormal to strange history and strange historical figures, cryptids, ghost stories, legends, and we always say we're not a true crime podcast. On the occasion, we will dip our toes into true crime. Very specific flavors of true crime. Like, there's something about the case that we're covering that is extremely strange or odd, just has a weird twist to it. So yeah, pretty much what it says on the tin.
I love it. I love that. Yeah. And really, it's weird how the paranormal and true crime sometimes collide. Like, for example, I did a episode on The Devil Made Me Do It. If you're familiar with that, it became a Conjuring movie about a gentleman in, I believe it's, what do I want to say? Whatever. So basically, this kid was supposedly possessed, and this other guy decided to take the demon away from him, whatever, and wound up killing someone and blaming it on the devil. So, right? That's kind of a weird mishmash of paranormal and supernatural and true crime, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that can be a little bizarre, right? Too, because there are stories like that where people have said, I've been possessed by a demon and it made me do whatever. Or a ghost, right?
Yeah. That was the Amityville. The DePeo murders was the son that committed the murders said, I was hearing voices from the house and they told me to kill my entire family. It's like,
yeah, exactly. So you're looking at the guy that almost bought the Amityville Horror House.
Really?
Yeah.
My goodness.
That's pretty cool.
That was years ago, okay? I was, just really quick, I've told my spooky friends all this story, but they're going to hear it again because you ladies haven't heard it.
Yeah.
And maybe you can have me on the podcast if you want, and I can go more in depth. But basically, I got a job around the New York area. I was in sales at the time, just newly married and kids, and they offered me this great position. And here's the weird thing. So I started looking for houses. What the heck, Amityville Horror House popped right up in my queue. And I was like, this is the greatest thing ever. I'm like spazzing out, running around the house like a little kid on Christmas. And my wife's like, what is wrong with you? And I'm like, you did this Amityville Horror House. And my wife was like, oh, hell no. We are not moving into that house. I said, nope, this is our chance. And she's like, all right, fine. Just go and find out. So I wish I could have had the real estate agent on my show, but unfortunately she passed away just about a couple years ago. And here's the thing, folks, I hate to level to you. It is not haunted. The DeFeos were basically a bunch of crazy people on drugs. Now, you can argue that all you want. However, I spoke to her and she just got into be like, well, here, talk to the other owners if you don't believe me. So I did speak to the other owners who had been there, and they told me, nah, nothing. And I said, you know what? You can level with me. You know, it's okay. You know, I'm not going to call you weird or something like that. And they're like, no, nothing, you know? One owner said they would hear footsteps at night occasionally, but they think like, I don't know. They're, you know, again, there wasn't really anything like jumping out. I didn't wind up buying the house because one or two things. Basically, the area that we were looking at was going to be very costly, and moving the kids out of school and stuff was a little bit. And also, the house is huge.
Yeah.
It's a lot
it's a
to
big
take
place.
care of. Yeah, it's got a boathouse. It's got a little dock. It's got like these huge hardwood floors. And I know that's funny, but like my wife's looking at it and she's like, you want me, the family, to clean this entire huge house? Yeah, when are we going to do that? The house is going to be terrible with like toddlers running around going, wah, you know, freaking out. If they meet a ghost, you know, be like, yeah, you know, then we run anyway. So I'm a big chicken when it comes to that stuff. If I see a demon, I'm out of there. I'm not having a discussion. I'm like, bye.
I'm with you.
See ya.
I'm with you.
Get the F out. I'm out.
Yeah,
you
for
know?
real.
You buy it. Anyway, yeah. And I was, and here's the thing. I was going to go and tour the house anyway. So I'm like, oh, I'm going to take pictures and maybe I'll catch something, right? This is going to be awesome. And the day I was trying to go, all my flights got canceled and everything. And my boss was like, well, are you going to do it or not? And I'm like, well, nah. He's like, all right. And then I called the real estate agent back and she goes, this was the funniest. Here's the punchline. She goes, John, that's not haunted, but I have several other haunted houses if you want that I know are haunted. For real. I can point you to that. I'm like, really?
Let me set you up here.
Yeah. She's like, I'll set you up. I know these are haunted. I've been in the real estate game for over 30 years. I know these are haunted. She goes, absolutely. I've been in these houses and I've heard footsteps. I've seen like mist. I've seen like, you know, she didn't really like believe in it, but she saw it, which is kind of a weird thing, right? Like, I don't believe in it, but I see stuff. Does that make sense? I don't know. But yeah. So there you go. It's really interesting story though. Yeah. It's crazy.
It would be really.
Go ahead.
Sorry. It would be
go ahead.
really interesting, like, because I never really thought, but I'm sure realtors see all kinds of things, right? Because I've always joked that it would be like in horror movies when there's children and youth workers, like it would be kind of funny to be the children and youth worker in a horror movie. But, and I say funny very sarcastically.
Yeah.
But like, it would be interesting just to kind of hear a bunch of stories that realtors have about just some of the weird stuff they've encountered, like paranormal weird. I'm sure they encounter human weird too, but
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that'd be really cool to see that. I think because obviously there are a whole bunch of different homes. I've had different experiences. I don't know about you ladies, if you would, I don't know if you live in a house or apartment or have gone house hunting at all, but I don't know if you've ever done it and gone to a house and been like, not no, because the kitchen is orange with pink tile. You know what I mean? Like, what? You know, but like,
something here is
something
not
off.
the vibe. Yeah.
I've been
Has
there.
that ever happened to either of you? Have you maybe an apartment, maybe a room or something? Have you walked in and been like, something going on here?
Oh, definitely. There's been times in just even different places I've lived that have had weird occurrences, but you know, house hunting, apartment hunting, and it's like this just the vibe is off.
Right. Yeah, and that's just a weird thing. I know I was at a house, and I don't know. Have you seen Silence of the Lambs?
Oh, I've not seen it, but I've heard of it. I need to watch that.
Yeah, it's a great movie. Anyway, there's a scene in there where Buffalo Bill, the serial killer, is keeping this woman in a well in their basement and everything like that. And it's a real famous scene. It's a great movie, by the way. Spoiler alert. There are no spoilers. It's been out for years. So if you haven't seen it, you'll see it. I won't give too much the ending away or anything. Anyway.
That's okay.
Yeah, I just was like going in this one house and I opened the basement door and I just went, nope. And the realtor looked at me and goes, The realtor looks at me and goes, yeah, you know what? I'm getting a weird feeling too. How about we move on to the next house?
Like, to have that confirmation, it's like, yeah, let's leave.
Let's just leave. This seems like a serial killer basement. So, speaking of weird occurrences,
Bri and I have joked that we don't think ghosts like me very much because I have gotten extremely lucky unlucky, I guess, depending on your point of view. I don't know that I've ever had anything directly paranormal happen to me, which is crazy because we went to school on the same campus that is known to be extremely haunted. But the closest thing I probably got to like my first ever paranormal experience, if you could call it that, was I get creeped out by my hallway. I've lived in the same house since I was born up until now. There is one hallway in the house, and for some reason, it has always weirded me out. But the other experience that I guess, and we've talked about it on our podcast, is I guess you could consider it a paranormal experience. But I went to Belize when I was in college as a study abroad course, and
Nice.
part of that course was we took a tour of an ancient Mayan that was used by the Mayans for sacrificial
sure.
ceremonies and religious ceremonies. And it didn't feel malicious to me, but it felt like there was something in that cave. And I have always described it as this is why people come into certain spaces and believe they are sacred, because it felt like there was something there. And like I said, I never got like a bad vibe from it, which is crazy because there were actual ancient skeletons of human beings in that cave. But yeah, it was wild. It was crazy.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. Did you feel like negative energy or did you feel like something watching you? What did you feel?
It's hard to describe. Even up to this day, it's difficult for me to describe. It didn't feel like there was something watching me. Like, I didn't feel like I had eyes on the back of my head or anything like that. It didn't feel negative necessarily. Like, I felt sad just because it was like, I know what happened to these people in here and it was not great. But it just felt like there was some kind of presence in this case. And like I said, it wasn't negative. It wasn't necessarily like positive. It was just there. And I know it's a terrible descriptor, but
No, I got you. That's kind of the feeling. Have you ever been walking and feel like there's something behind you, right? You know, kind of
Yeah.
that feeling. Yeah.
yes.
That's a scary feel, especially when you're walking in your own house and going up the stairs and then you run like a chicken like I do and almost
That's
trip
my
and
hallway.
dash your- Yeah.
Oh no. Yeah.
And there's nothing
Yep, that's my
behind
hallway.
you. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh gosh, you know, that's not good. Be careful.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Bri, how about you?
The stairway thing actually ties very nicely into the story I'm going to tell. So the house that I grew up in had a lot of activity in it. And it's funny, like as a kid, I would tell my parents that I was seeing things and they were like, no, there's no ghost. You're being silly. And then as an adult, they were like, oh no, we saw it too. We just didn't want to scare you. But when I was in high school, my parents were away at a work party and I was with my high school boyfriend. And we were in the living room of the house watching some movie or something. And from the living room, you could see our dining room, which had our stairs to the second floor. And you could just kind of see into the kitchen. So my boyfriend at the time and I were watching this movie and we hear this noise, like the door opening in the kitchen. And then we see like this dark figure walk through the hallway into the dining room, past the table and up the stairs.
Yeah.
And we look at each other and we thought it was my mom. Maybe she like had to run upstairs for something or had to go to the bathroom or something.
Sure.
So of course we both get up and I'm like, Mom, are you okay? Nothing. And so then I called my parents and I was like, are you okay? And my mom's like, yeah, we're still at whatever restaurant. And I'm like, are you sure?
Yeah.
So that was, but we would see like, I would be in I was in the shower one time and saw something walk by the glass.
Ugh.
And my dad would see something go up the stairs. It was always like the stairs in the bathroom. So we would see that a lot. So that's like the one that stands out the most. Like Christiana said, the college campus we went to. Sorry if you can hear sirens, by the way. That's just from outside.
Oh, all right. You guys aren't being arrested, are you? Like they're going to come in there, the FBI. That'd be really cool, though. No.
Wouldn't that be an exciting episode?
That would be an exciting FBI busted. Let's go. This is sweet.
Great
Great views.
I gotta go, John.
Gotta reschedule. The campus we went to was very haunted, and because we were friends in college too. But some of my roommates and I, would go ghost hunting, and we saw and we caught some, like, we were doing an EVP session in this room, Patterson Lounge, which had all of these past presidents of the college, these really weird oil paintings that were creepy, and the eyes would follow you.
Yeah.
It was just lining the walls. It was a terrifying room to be in, whether you had experiences there or not.
And we were doing an EVP session, and we asked, is there anything anyone wants to say to us? And we got a male voice saying no. And we were like, okay, we're done. Thank you.
Hey, bye.
Thanks for your time.
Oh yeah. That would be weird. Hey, may I ask what college you guys went to? Is that okay?
Yeah, I answered for both of us. Is that okay?
Oh, yeah.
So we both live in Pennsylvania. We went to Wilson College in Chambersburg.
Wilson College. It sounds a little familiar. Because anyway, I've done episodes on colleges who are haunted.
Okay.
I've read some different things off of Reddit about college haunting. Was your dorm haunted at all? I'm just throwing that out there. Do you think I was haunted at all?
You were in a different dorm than me.
Yeah, I was. I don't remember as many stories about South, but it wouldn't shock me. Yeah, I was going to say Riddle was, like, I think the most haunted of all of them. I heard things. I never lived over. One of the dorms was called Mac Dave.
Oh, yeah.
There.
I did not, but I heard stories.
Even after it got remodeled, I heard wild stories about Mac Dave.
Ghost, what did you hear? Just curious.
I was talking to one person, and they were saying there was some kind of, I don't know that they saw it, if they saw something, or they, like, got this, like, really, really bad feeling in one of the bathrooms. It was like this really dark energy that was not nice. And they were like, I will not go back in that bathroom. I'm like,
yeah.
The elevators. There was something about the elevators too.
Oh, really?
I don't think I'm making that up. That there was something like
the elevators going up to Mac Dave, you mean?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting.
Lortz Hall, I feel, was like, that wasn't a dorm, but
I think all of the
everywhere was.
The Science Center was new. Everything else had stories in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because college dorms are weird in the sense of there's a lot of things that happen in it, good and bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Unfortunately, there might be a suicide. There might be, someone get seriously hurt, something like that. And these dorms, I'm not, have so much energy of so many people being in. So it's, and we all know that person in your dorm who never opened their door, who just came from class and shut their door, and you might knock on it, trying to be nice and be like, hey, I'm John, nice to meet you. And they're like, yeah, whatever, and close the door on you. You're like, what's going on with that dude? Yeah. And great, have your privacy, I get it. But, you just kind of feel for those people like, well, what's going on,
You never know what's going on.
We had a Civil War battle on campus, didn't we?
Oh, right.
I don't know.
Yeah, because we're not far from Gettysburg.
Well, the town was burned. There was the burning of Chambersburg. So more than likely, I would assume the college was affected. I don't know how exactly, but there's cannons on the square.
Or at least the land that the college is on was affected.
Yeah, nice. You ladies would have loved me. I was right across from a cemetery. I went to Platteville. If you go look at Platteville, there's a cemetery literally right across the street. So I used to wake up every morning, open my curtains, there's a cemetery. Now, I'll tell you a story. Don't judge me. I was young at the time and I was having fun. Okay, so don't you guys are already judging me. I can see by the looks on your faces. Right.
I'm excited to hear where this is going.
I know, right?
I've been in the paranormal, both of you, for a long time. So when you're across from a cemetery, what do you got to do? You got to have a little fun. Do whatever you need to do. So I used to go out, and me and some buddies from the dorms would go out, and we would have flashlights, and then we'd like go around and flash. And then we were in a co-ed dorm. So the female dorm so it went female, male, female, male. So the second and fourth floors, they had no clue what was going on. So they look out their window and just see, because we wear all black and stuff, they see just lights look like orbs and stuff. And then in class, they'd be like, Stacy, I was looking up, like, did you see the ghost in the cemetery? And we're like,
we had a wild tradition. So
are we allowed to even say this about the? Okay,
I'm pretty sure
it's a first. It's a first on Dairyland Frights.
It's a first.
We got a scoop.
Okay. Well, so our founder, the founder of
the school we went to,
college. Yes, her name was Sarah Wilson, and she was buried close by. We would, one of the Wilson is a college that is huge on traditions of every shape and size. And Sarah, we would all, every year, it was a class tradition to go see Sarah's grave and to take the incoming class to go meet Sarah and see her. We were always very respectful of like the grave, and there's a beautiful old church that sits there that you could tour sometimes. It was really, really cool tradition. But then it was like, so one of the traditions is a war between the classes. So the evens and the odds classes.
Which we are opposites.
Yes.
Because I'm an odd.
Okay.
You can't even because you're just so odd.
I was a grade above you.
You were. Yep.
Right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. And I was an even. So I think it was the seniors, whichever senior class it was, would hide behind the church. And then as they were bringing the... Is that what it was?
It was the sophomore.
Was it the sophomores?
It was the reverse when you'd go back around graduation.
That's right.
The juniors. No, hold on.
So people were scaring each other? Or
Essentially, it turned into a giant water battle because
It
people
did.
would come flying out with whoever was in the opposite class. I feel like when you were a freshman, when you went, the sophomores who would
be hiding, yeah.
Yes, because your big sisters would take you to see.
It was definitely seniors because I was living in Riddle.
Oh, it was definitely seniors. Okay.
So it would have been the junior class would have been the opposite class.
Right.
Sorry.
But no, it's okay. But yeah, whichever the class was above you that was in the class war, as it were, would come out and...
Because your class, I remember this, your class put glow sticks on your littles. So you gave us really easy targets.
That was
go,
really mean.
Christiana.
That was really mean. It was all fun though. Like, and we were, it wasn't like we weren't trespassing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it was very classic. Like, this is Sarah Wilson. These are Wilson people that are going to see her, and you know. But it was fun. It was a wild tradition.
I love it. I love that. That is so fun tradition. Yeah, and we used to on Halloween we'd go and bring some people with us who wanted to dare the cemetery, and I was big paranormal, so I'd be like, well, there's spirits here, and if you do this or do that, they could follow you home. And you gotta, and people would be, and especially the girls. You're such a girl.
We were Wilson was in well after my graduating class was the last all women's class. So we were a women's school for the longest time. So for us there was nothing like that. It's just like until my class graduated. Like I said, my 2016, the class of 2016 was the last full women's class, and then there were men on campus. Like there was adult degree programs, and men could take part in those and whatnot. But it was a lot of female energy on campus.
Gotcha. Who's the demon dog you have there?
Oh, this
is my dog Roxy. She was getting a little bit too loud in the background, so now she's
Hello, Roxy.
up here with us. Yes.
Hello, Roxy.
Hold her up a little bit.
We have a demon dog too named Minnie. Not very scary, but she's a good little black lab.
Aww.
Anyway, I got a great topic for you guys. If you want to research it, just a thing, which I absolutely love. So in Wisconsin, we have a place called Second Salem. So witches were at a campus called UW Whitewater. There's a witch's tower. Supposedly there's a witch's circle in the cemetery. Supposedly witches back in the 1800s were in this area practicing, witchcraft. And there's a number of crazy stories and stuff. But if you look up the witch's tower, it looks like something out of a horror movie. It looks exactly out of a horror movie.
The witches. And this is in what you said, Wisconsin?
In Wisconsin, UW Whitewater. All you have to do is search Second Salem. They made I don't think this movie ever got made, but they made an independent horror movie about it. And everyone who said they were in the dorms would feel, especially closer to the witch's tower, would feel strange presence, would see shadow people, would have things go missing. If you disrespected the cemetery or disrespected the witch's tower, making fun of it, whatever you want to say, bad things would start to happen to you. Like people got in accidents, people got hurt, people flunked out of college. Now, granted, coincidence, sure, but still people really took it seriously after a while, after just all these things were happening. And there are witches in the area who have explained many times, we're not here to raise Satan or, whatever. We're here to bring forward the environment and love of the earth and love of nature. So, people got to relax. You watch too many horror movies. They're not there to hurt anybody. They're there to bring kind of notice and information and discredit anyone who's like saying they killed people or, you know what I mean? Or people were hung.
Yeah.
But yes, it's Second Salem, a very interesting thing.
Yeah.
That you can research. So before we get to the topic today, I have 2 surprises for you. The first surprise is we're going to play a little game. We're going to see how well you know each other. Okay?
Okay.
All right. So I'll ask you questions, some quick fire questions. See how well you know each other. Look, I'm not responsible for fights later. Like, you didn't know that. And then you guys break up. You guys break up the podcast. This isn't on me. Okay? That's my disclaimer. All right. I do this with my paranormal couples, and it's pretty funny.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with you, Bri.
Okay.
What is Christiana's favorite cryptid?
It's Bigfoot because that's her best friend.
Yes.
Okay. And why Bigfoot's your best friend? I love it. Why?
I don't know.
He just is.
Well, that's not an answer.
So this is I started. You said I'm answering this, right?
Yes.
This is not okay. So I started. I went to Penn's Cave in Pennsylvania to take a tour, and in the gift shop, because I love a gift shop, I love a trinket. There was this little keychain that said, "Keeping it squatchy at Penn's Cave," and it was like a silhouette of Sasquatch making a peace sign, and I just thought it was cute. So from then on out, I started collecting little Bigfoot things. Everywhere I went, I would try to find like a magnet or a sticker or a keychain, just something small. And it just turned into like, I just love Bigfoot. I just think he's cool.
You're a fan. You're a fangirl. I get it.
Big fan. Fan. Yes.
Awesome. Love it. Okay. Christiana, this is a question about Bri.
Okay.
Would Bri survive a zombie apocalypse? And
Oh,
why?
I think so.
That was a
Why?
fast answer.
100% confidence. I think you would.
And why?
Because I've tried to think of a way to say this. It's not unkind, but I'm just going to belt it. You're not going to make stupid decisions. Like,
Well, that's
there's
a
a
good
noise
thing.
coming from that weird room. Let's go check it for zombies. No, let's not check it for zombies. Let's barricade that door and get the hell out. 100% I can see you being like, we're not going to investigate. We're going to get in. We're going to do what we need to do. We're going to get out.
Fair enough.
Like 100% can see you just making very logical decisions.
Okay.
This is like
Bri,
the most intense escape room ever.
Bri, do you agree with that?
I think that I would probably be okay because I would think very logically. Now, if they're the kind of zombies that can run, I might be like out of luck
Oh, true. But that's both of us, I think.
because they can run. I also have horses though, so like I can get on my horse and go hide in the woods.
Sure.
That's true.
There you go. Yeah, and then you can always eat your horse if you get hungry. We said it.
No, oh no.
You got
Oh, dear.
hungry. You're going to survive. You're going to have to eat your horse. How are you going to survive? There's no Taco Bells. You're not going to be like, right? I know. All
I
right.
mean,
Situations lead to
all kinds of things.
Oh, yes.
All right. Bri, who is the better gift giver of you two?
Well, definitely
Oh.
her. 'Cause
Oh.
She can make them herself. She's very creative and she makes very nice gifts.
Thank you.
That's nice. That was an easy answer. I like that. Do you agree, Christiana?
I was thinking, I think we both are really good at giving gifts.
Oh, that's very
'cause-
nice.
Yeah. Because you have all kinds of fun, like my little emotional support Mothman.
Oh, that's true.
I love him.
He's your second favorite.
He is. Yeah, I love Mothman.
All right. Staying in that vein, and then I'll get to a paranormal question.
Ooh.
When you guys do get into an argument, Christiana, who apologizes first?
I don't think we've gotten into an argument.
What?
I apologize even when we don't.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think we both just apologize for no reason.
I'm sorry.
That's why we
I'm
never
sorry.
argue.
What are you sorry about? I don't know. I just
Uh-uh.
want to get ahead of the curve.
But we're pretty good at, like, now knock on wood here. We're pretty good at if there's any kind of, I don't even want to call them issues, but just like question or concern, podcasting or otherwise that comes up, we're both very good at like, let's just bring it right to the front. Like we're not the kind of, we don't tend to let things sit and fester because we both know that's just not a good idea.
Yeah, we've
Knock
been
on wood.
We've been friends for how long, and we've worked together in different jobs too. So we're
Oh,
very
true.
used to like
We know how each other
13 years?
works. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we worked
12, 13 years that we've been friends.
something like
Nice.
that.
I love it. I love that.
So
Okay.
we're very lucky in that aspect.
Yeah.
We're very blessed in that
I love
aspect.
that. Yeah, that's always good to have a really good friend and someone you can rely on and trust and love each other. That's important. I can tell you
Yeah.
that from experience. I've been friends with some of my friends since high school and some since elementary
Yeah.
school. So there we go.
It's valuable.
Yeah. So, Bri, what is your favorite episode so far that you guys have done?
That we've done. Oh my
Ooh.
goodness. Her Mothman episode was a blast.
And why?
It was just, I think we went off script a lot.
As we do.
We tend to go off script. Like we have very loose scripts. And that one was just a blast because it was fun. It's always fun to talk about Mothman. And we're pretty good at like, I don't know what the proper term is, but one of us will start to build a joke and the other one will just go with it.
We're very good at like yes-anding.
And there were a couple of really decent ones.
Yes.
As far as an episode that I tend to like your episodes better than mine.
Thank you.
But I'm also very self-critical. So,
sorry. We've got a dog that's migrating into my lap.
Bye, Roxy. We did an episode with another podcast that's local to York County. So the county. Yeah. And it was a local case. It was the Hex Hollow murders, which has to do with the Pennsylvania Dutch practice of powwow, which is different than Native American. It's like a folk magic. And there was this murder that took place in the early 1900s. And that was probably my favorite episode that I've done.
Yeah. That was really good.
Oh, I have to check that out. That's something that I've always wanted to look at with the Amish. They're a strange bunch. Interesting people. They have a lot of, I've done a little research on them. Some of their methods aren't, I would say, the best. All right, Christiana.
Yes.
If a ghost would appear right now in front of you, like a full body apparition, who's going to talk to it first?
You.
Bri's going to talk to it first? Or you? What?
Yeah.
Who's going to talk to it first?
I think Bri. I think my response would be to just freeze.
She would just leave my house.
I'd be like, first I'd question my entire reality because I've never, sort of knock on wood, to this day, as far as I'm aware, I've never seen a ghost. So I think I would be questioning my sanity, and then Bri would talk to it.
I used to ghost hunt a little bit, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Neither you would run. Come on. If it appeared right now, boom, right in front of you.
I might be a little startled.
I'd probably freeze. I can't guarantee I wouldn't run. Usually my response when I get startled by something is to like, and kind of jerk back and either just completely go frozen, like deer in the headlights frozen, or to scream. So I might blow our ears out.
I would jump pretty hard probably, but.
Okay.
So if you see both of us flinch really hard, that's why.
It's like when you see a scary spider and you try to talk to it as you back away slowly so you can get away from it.
Okay. Yeah.
Gotcha. Do you remember the other night where we were packing up the headphones and the little Velcro piece that holds it together rolled on the floor, and you thought it was like some kind
I
of...
thought it was a mouse.
And you went,
and I screamed.
I just froze on the futon, like, fun behind the scenes.
I didn't run away from it though. I screamed and I jumped back a little bit.
It's just
Pretty much,
Velcro.
yes.
Oh, it's
Awesome.
fine.
Yeah.
So a question for you both now. Last question. Are you both familiar with Scooby-Doo?
Somewhat,
Okay.
yes.
Who's Daphne and who's Velma?
Ooh.
Like, are you asking like what they look like or who voices?
No, like who is? Like if you were in Scooby-Doo, like who would be Daphne and who would be Velma?
That's a hard question.
I think we're both kind of...
are we both kind of Velma?
Yes, that's what I was trying
a
to
little
say.
bit, yeah.
Huh?
I might have Daphne moments.
Oh, I think we're both kind of Velma.
Yeah, but mostly Velma. I might be like, 40% Daphne? 30%?
I like how you're measuring this out.
I need a pie chart.
Yeah, like, let me see if I'm this close. Yeah, okay. A slide rule. Okay, get a protractor. Oh, boy.
That's kind of an answer to the question in and of itself, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll give that to you. Daphne was, like, she would figure it out, kind of, but she was mainly there for, let's be honest, eye candy. That's just, for the young teenage boys like me who would watch Scooby-Doo and be like, oh, Daphne, that's embarrassing, but I'll say it.
That's all right.
You're young, but Velma was a smart one. She usually figured it out, and she's usually the one who, I don't think Daphne ever pulled off the mask, right? Of the guy,
right.
Like, that's old man Crothers. And then
I feel like if one of us, like, we couldn't both be, I feel like you would be Velma.
Okay.
I think. Because, I think, because you're so logical in your thinking, and, like, I'm not saying that in, like, a bad way.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Well,
I
Go ahead.
I was going to say sometimes I get caught up into like the little details and I don't see the big picture. And I feel like you're also like little details are important to you, but you also can see the bigger picture, I think, faster than I can. Oftentimes.
Slice them together.
Yes.
That is awesome. I love that you guys know each other so well, because sometimes this does not go well. There's a lot of eye rolling.
No.
Did we pass the test?
You passed the test. But I didn't have, let's be clear, I haven't had any of my couples divorce or anything like that, because I tell them the same thing. If you're going to get divorced, it isn't because of me in this game. You guys have other issues, and we need to just figure that out. That's scary within itself. But no, I love it. I love that you guys know each other so well. So I'm glad you had fun with that. I just like to do that with people and see if they know each other. And you guys knocked it out of the park. Knocked it out of the park. I'm going to go to Bri when a zombie apocalypse happens. Christiana, I'm not going to you. Because you're going to be too many in the details. You're going to be like, well, I need the first aid kit, and then I need some beef jerky, and then blah, there comes the zombie.
That actually would be.
That would be her. Like, we're just going to barricade the stuff.
We're both dead now. Now we got to eat Bri. I hope you're happy.
Dear.
All right. So the topic today are scary stories. And I want you to listen to the story. Please interject anytime you guys want. These are, well, supposedly real stories by real people who have had these experiences. And then at the end, we're going to rate them 1 to 5 on their scariness and kind of the paranormal, like, do you believe this is true? Or you think somebody maybe just had a bad pizza and went to bed and had a nightmare, right?
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
All right. So the first story is this. I lived and grew up in a little town called Salem, Arizona, which is about 2 hours west of Phoenix by Wickenburg. Well, okay, great. Thanks. Now we know where it is. My family owns lands there, and we have our own private cemetery as well. Growing up, my grandfather built the house that we lived in. From the time I can recall, we lived with ghosts. Things moving, things being thrown around, sounds you could not explain, lights that would travel in the middle of the desert without any form or explanation. The house has since been torn down because it fell into disrepair, but the land stands and it's just as disturbing as it was then, if not more. So what do you guys think? 1 to 5 being scary, that this land that they own and this house that the grandpa built, all these terrible things are happening, and now they just kind of moved out. Scary? True? What do you think?
From an outside perspective, just hearing that, it's like, oh, that's creepy, but it doesn't, like, it's not bone chilling to me.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like mildly frightening.
Like a 2, maybe?
Okay.
Is it was it out of 5?
Yeah.
Is that
yeah.
I'd say 2.5, 3.
2.5, 3.
Okay.
Something like
Great.
that.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting because, again, there's a cemetery there. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. You built this on this land. By the way, Arizona has a lot of Native American tribes, so maybe you built it on a Native American burial ground. They didn't really bring that up, but that's where my mind went. So you have the cemetery, you have maybe a Native American burial ground you built the house on, and then they just kind of left. It doesn't really say why they left, but they just left. And I get it.
That one gets me a little bit.
You know what I mean? Like, they just got sick of it. One of the things that they added on that I found later, they said, this is kind of addendum or whatever you want to say, something is there and it wishes nothing more than to be heard. I'm not sure why, but one of the things, they hired a psychic, and they must have done this like before they left or something. They didn't really go through it. And I can put the link to the story and everything.
Yeah.
But this is the weird thing. The land itself was sucking the life from others, as strange as that sounds. Interesting. So that's what let me clarify. So that's what the psychic was saying, that somebody wanted to be heard, and then the land itself was like sucking your life, like draining your energy. I'm like, I've never heard anything like that. And now that's scary.
Yeah.
If something is like draining you, right? That's weird.
That would pump it up a little. My brain went to like the light anomalies. Is it pulling the energy from the living to make the light anomalies happen?
My thought went to, I'm curious what that means, sucking the life. Are we talking like the Princess Bride, I literally have just sucked 1 year of your life away?
Yeah,
or are we
right.
talking, because if you think of like it's sucking your life away, does that mean like your energy? Is it causing depression? Is it causing like other types of, because that in a sense is like in a more metaphorical sense, life sucking and life draining. I'm like, what? It sounds very heavy.
That's like
whatever it is. That's
Right.
like
right.
very common in like negative hauntings too, right? Or even like the first couple phases of like demonic possession. It's people report like mood shifts, they report, but even in like more negative hauntings, things like that.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think it makes sense. There's something going on there, even if it's not as insanely like horrible as it kind of sounds like it could have the potential to be. Just because it's like there are very clearly there are people still there, like remains, human remains, and if there's something with someone that's not ready to, if you will, cross over. So it feels more realistic to me. Like it makes sense that something would be going on there.
Yeah, exactly. So the next one is about a shadow person. And this one's a little more scary, I think, because of the age of the victim. And I say victim because you'll understand why. Okay. For instance, when I was about 5, I had a flu really bad. My mother was outside tending to laundry, and I was in the front bedroom. There were only 2 bedrooms, but I was in the one that was the furthest away from where she was. We didn't have a built-in closet because my grandparents were from Ireland, so we had this freestanding closets that came about a foot away from the wall itself. And I, of course, having the flu and had a fever so bad, my mother left the closet door open. And when the door to the outside closed from my mother, out stepped the head and torso of my great-grandmother. At least, I think it was. I never met her, only had a picture of her face hanging in our living room. I could feel her sit on the side of the bed, and when she touched my forehead, I could feel the coolness of her fingers. I could have sworn she was real, and she whispered to me, "Everything is going to be all right." And I closed my eyes, and a moment later, I heard my mother come in and sit with me. And when I finally fell asleep, after being so afraid to do so, I woke, and my fever was gone, and that's just, he says, or she says, that's one example what happened there. So it's kind of scary, but near the end, I didn't want to give anything away. It's kind of sweet, right?
Yeah.
So is it scary or more scary sweet or kind of a combination?
I definitely think a little bit of both. And the whole fever aspect makes me kind of wonder if like, is it a thing of like the fever was affecting kind of their brain, or was the fever making them more able to perceive things they couldn't normally perceive?
Yeah. I mean, both those things make sense.
Yeah.
I always love stories like that, honestly, of like a loved, especially when it's like a grandparent or something, and potentially like, you know, I never met this grandparent, and or, you know, if they met them when they were very, very little, they didn't remember, but this grandparent, you know, met them as a baby. That always just is so heartwarming to me to think about like the love that is there for them to potentially come back and be like, you're going to be okay. Touching your forehead because you had a fever. That just, that melts my heart. It really does.
So I would say a 3 or a 4 on the kind of the sweet scale, and maybe like a 2, right, on the scary, because it's a 5-year-old kid. I mean, come on. If you're 5 years old and you see this torso and this head and this entity coming towards you, that's pretty scary.
That's it started for me. It started as like a 4 or 5 because just seeing something come out of your closet, I'm like, no, thank you. But then it went to like a 2.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. So that's really interesting. Okay. The next one is a ghost in a tree. And I know this is going to sound weird and kind of funny, but I don't know if it's not funny near the end. I wouldn't find it funny. So.
Okay. I'm excited for this.
When I was a kid, life was simple. Dusty streets, endless games, and laughter that stretched until the sun disappeared. Our house was flanked by tall mango trees, their gnarled branches twisting like ancient hands reaching for the sky. Those trees were my playground, my castle. At 10 years old, I didn't know much about the supernatural. Ghosts were just stories meant to make kids behave. Until the night I saw her. It started any other evening. My friends and I were playing beneath the trees, our shouts and laughter cutting through the growing darkness. As the shadows deepened, I felt a chill, not from the air, but from something else. Something wrong. Then I saw her. Perched high on one of the branches was a girl about 12 years old. She wore a white dress, simple but oddly pristine, as though untouched by dirt and dust of the world. Her long black hair fell over her shoulders, catching the faint glow of the streetlight. At first, I thought she was just another kid. Then I realized she had no face. The skin where her features should have been was smooth, blank. She sat with her legs dangling, feet brushing the air, and one hand repeatedly stroking her hair. Her head tilted slightly, as though listening to us. But she wasn't looking at me. She was looking at my friend. I froze, my heart pounding in my chest. I wanted to run, to scream, but I couldn't move. Something about her was magnetic, like staring into a nightmare you couldn't escape. Then one of the fathers asked, "What are you looking at?" And nudging me hard enough to snap me out of my daze. I pointed to the branch. "That girl," I whispered. "What girl?" "She's sitting right there," I said louder, my voice shaking. The father looked where I pointed, but there were faces remained blank. His face remained blank. Not the girl's face. He's like, "You didn't see anything." "There's nothing there," he said, laughing nervously before taking me in for the night. But she still was there, still stroking her hair, still swinging her legs, like she didn't have a care in the world. "It's time to go inside," I heard my mom yell too. And sharply from that time and that eerie moment, I ran towards the house. But before I stepped inside, I glanced back. The girl was no longer looking at me or my friends. She was facing me, even without a face. I knew she was watching. When I bolted into the house, what I told my mom I had seen, her face went pale. Her hand flew to her mouth, and for a moment she stared at me. Then, like a switch, she snapped into action. "It's nothing," she said quickly, her voice tight. "Just your imagination. Don't talk about it anymore." That night, I heard whispering from my parents. One of the voices I heard, "She saw her," she said in a shaking voice. Then the father said, "We need to stop talking about it, and we need to not bring this up again." So in the morning, my parents talked to me and said, "It's nothing. It's just the shadows playing tricks on you. Just forget about it." I wanted to believe them, but the way my mom's hands trembled, the way my mom's voice wavered, it wasn't nothing. Years later, when I was older, my brother told me the truth. He had seen her too. "She's always been there," he said, his voice low. "The girl in the mango tree. I saw her when I was your age. So did Dad. So did Mom. They just don't want us to talk about it. They think ignoring her will make her go away." So, yeah. That's
like
pretty
The
crazy,
Grudge.
huh? There's this faceless girl in a mango tree, and everyone saw her, but they're like, similar to what you were saying about the haunted house. There's nothing. Oh, there's something.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say that the parents said anything. It just says they just kind of moved away, and that was it.
Yeah. Oh, that is so creepy. That's terrifying.
Yeah, I'd give it a 3 or 4. What do you guys think?
I'd say it's probably a 4.
4 or 5. Yeah. Because I'm a
Yeah.
wuss. It's the hand like stroking the
Poking her
hair.
hair. That would be
That's
freaky.
just
Yeah.
and just swinging her legs like I'm supposed to be here. Okay, I guess you are. I guess that's your tree now.
Yeah, exactly. Crazy. All right. So the last story, this one's a pretty good one. It's another shadow person, but this one's more of a shadow, I think. So this one's about a shadow person, like I said, and I thought it was kind of scary. I'll start with this. So ever since my childhood, I have seen these shadow ghosts in my house. It's always inside a house. They have many forms, but the most common is the shadow man. Exactly like a human, but again, no face, no clothes, just a very thick shadow. What I mean is that I can't see through them. Staring at it, and then I run away the shadow man never approaches me, or I guess runs after you, but it was always where I could see it too. So I'm guessing it's like moving around with this person. So one time I attempted to approach it. And a smart thing. And when I got close enough, the shadow started to move towards me. I backed away immediately and ran away, never looking back. Years later, as I grew up and got my own place, I felt the shadow person I had seen as a kid in my house had followed me to my apartment. I would wake up seeing the shadow man at the edge of my bed. I would see the shadow man go past my shower. I would see the shadow man in my hallway. I would tell it to leave. I would yell at it. I would cry. But the shadow man never leave. One night, I woke up to see the shadow man leaning over my bed, his face about 2 inches from mine.
Sir.
That scared the hell out of me. He was much too close. He then vanished away. Since then, it has took various forms. The man was still there, but there was also the cat and the cloud. Other people have seen the cat too. I say the cat because it's about the same height and it moves fast. Usually it crosses the room, and I had witnesses for that sort of apparition, which was quite comforting, seeing that I was not crazy. And I must say, these people are complete skeptics. The cloud comes in now and then. This one is a little bit weird because it goes really slowly. It is a very dark cloud, very opaque. And the curious thing, and the hard to explain, it does not spread away. It moves like a cloud, but does not grow. Like a big, dark cloud that is just floating, but that too vanishes away. I just don't know who is that person, that shadow man. If it was a person before it became a shadow, and I'm not sure what it wants from me. I've seen other ghosts who were peopling me. I don't know what that means, and knew that I knew and died. So I guess they're saying, like, you know, maybe came up to them when these people died that he knew or she knew. I just think that this shadow person is related to me in a way that I knew her or him in his or her life. This just really scares me. Well, yeah. So what do you guys think?
Yeah.
I've given this a 4. Like the 2 inches from like waking up and the shadow person.
Yeah, that's not okay.
Yeah, that would be the...
Reminds me of, like, did they say, was anywhere in there saying, I mean, it sounds like they were scared of it, but just to clarify, like, what were they getting, like, negative energy off of this thing? Were they getting really bad vibes, or just the fact that it's following?
It's just following them. You know, like I said, they were in the house and saw this thing, but they didn't say they saw the cat or the cloud. But once they moved into their apartment, then they would see the cat and the cloud, and it followed him or her. But no, it doesn't. In the story, it doesn't say, you know, my dad died, or, you know, somebody committed suicide. You know what I mean? Like negative energy or something. No, it's just following this person, and that they knew them somehow, but doesn't explain how they knew them, or maybe why they knew them. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It almost reminds me of, like, I don't know what to call it. Like, it's not necessarily given spirit to me. It's not necessarily given, like, fae vibes.
It's like it's an undefined attachment.
It's it almost reminds me, like, they're just fascinated by this person and they don't want to let them, like, when they first started talking, I thought it was like, okay, maybe this was like a relative or something, and they just feel like they have to, like, you know, keep an eye and just make sure. But, like, then the following to the apartment, that's a little extreme. But it's almost reminds me, it's like a little bit of an unhealthy fascination. Like, you wake up, it's 2 inches from your face, and they're like, "Are you sleeping?" What? Yeah, I was. Please go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's scary.
Yeah, so I gave it a 4. What do you ladies give it?
I would probably say a 4 too. The thing with the being in the face was, like, the rest, it kind of lurked, which wasn't great, but like, it at least respected boundaries.
Yes.
For the rest of it, but just being like, I don't even know what I would do if I woke up and there was something in my face. Like, I don't even know what I would do.
Yeah.
And that's what gets me too. And I've heard not a cloud, but I've heard a mist, Like people
Mhm.
saying, like this mist would turn into a shadow person, like it would come down the hall and then form. I've heard something, but
Mhm.
I've never heard. I mean, it wasn't a cat, but what they're saying is it has the size of a cat. I've never seen
Mhm.
that shadow people take a different, smaller form.
Yeah.
Have you? Have you heard anything like that? I haven't. That's
No.
definitely something strange.
It sounds very interdimensionally, like interdimensional thing or something. Like it doesn't really like it's not following the normal shadow person roles. We did a Hat Man episode. I forgot about that one.
All right.
And it reminded me of that, but it's not. Like it's
Yeah.
close entity wise, but it's still not.
It's Hatman's distant cousin who doesn't understand physical space.
Yes. You're a close talker. Stop it.
Yeah.
2 paces back.
Boy. Yeah. Yes.
So those are I believe these people. If you heard any one of these stories, like you're in the break room, you're at a birthday party, whatever you're at, and someone told you these stories, would you believe them, or would you just be like the little boy? I'm a little skeptic on. Not to say that it's a bad thing. I'd be like, oh, that's sweet. The shadow person, I wouldn't know what to tell them other than maybe you need to get a cleanse or something, or have an empath come in there, or a priest or somebody. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I think it would depend on the person telling too, right? And I mean, I'd be asking a lot of follow-up questions. I'd be like, either way, I think that everyone's experiences are true and important to them. So whether it is a paranormal reason or not, I think it's helpful to talk about them and have that space to talk about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
I kind of go at it from like, I try to think about everything as, maybe that did happen. There's crazy stuff in this world that we can't explain. So for me, the two that are the most believable are the house in the desert and honestly, the little boy. Cause I've heard,
oh my goodness, little kid stories. Yeah.
Little kid stories. Yes. And then even the girl in the mango tree, like I do like having how like the lineage, like the family, it's like their spirit almost that they see, that it's like that haunting that's line.
That gives me very folklore vibes too, depending on like where that takes place. If it is,
like La Llorona vibes almost.
Right.
Like one of her children.
Exactly. Yeah. So anyway, I loved because I thought these were something strange and paranormal and stuff. Yeah, it's awesome. So thank you so much. This has been a great episode. I've had so much fun learning about both of you. And like I said, I'm going to Bri when there's a zombie apocalypse. But before we wrap up, tell my spooky friends where they can find you, like what new episodes you're working on, so they can check you out and give you a little love.
Yeah, you can go for it.
Okay. So we are, once again, we're Something Strange. You can listen to us on Spotify, Amazon Music, Audible, Apple Podcasts, and we also have a YouTube channel that we're starting to put a little more on there, but you can, at the very least, you can listen to all of our episodes on there, just an extra platform. You can find us on Instagram and on Facebook, as well as you can send us a Gmail if you want. We're Something Strange 24. Most recent episodes, I think our most recent one was Apollo 13 that just came out.
Yes, I think we also batch out, so we're about 2 months ahead for a lot of the episodes. So I had to think about what just
dropped. Yep, but
because that is a very strange story in itself.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a very.
And then
strange
the one
story.
Snallygaster was right before that.
Yeah, we had a weird month.
Snallygaster was right before that.
Yes.
Love that. I love it. Well, thank you so much. Like I said, this was awesome. You guys have fulfilled everything I wanted. I knew this was going to be awesome, and you guys blew it away. So
thank you.
It was so much fun. So again, I always tell my podcast guests, you don't have to do this, but if you ever want me on, I can talk about Amityville. I can talk about Ed Gein and Jeffrey Dahmer.
Ooh.
Because I didn't meet Jeffrey Dahmer, thank God. And no, I did not meet Ed Gein. I'm not that damn old. So, but people in my family did, or friends did meet both of them and have some really interesting stories. So I know it's not true crime, whatever, but Ed Gein and Jeffrey Dahmer here in Wisconsin are the two heavy hitters that, I mean, come on. They just keep on, movies have been made about them, specials. They will not let it go. And that's kind of funny because when you think of Wisconsin, you think of we're all really nice, Wisconsin nice people. And then these two guys are like eating people and like killing like whatever with their mom and like Whoa, where'd that come
Both
from?
of their stories are like their family stories. I mean, their stories of their crimes are like absolutely horrific, but like the background behind those two is insane.
Yeah, it's totally insane. And so I have some fun stories about that or anything else. If you guys ever want to do that, I can share that.
Yeah, we'll definitely be in touch about that. Definitely.
Yeah, please do. So again, please give Christiana and Bri some love. You guys, Snallygaster, that's coming out, Apollo 13. I mean, those are really great episodes. Please check them out. Go on their Instagram, like and subscribe, rate them 5 stars, whatever you have to do, because we are the lifeblood, folks. Again, here's my soapbox. Sorry. But I'm not really sorry. Again, we don't have interns. We're not in a cushy studio. We're not, this is people who love the paranormal and love talking about it. So it's always better, in my opinion, because you're not getting all the whatever fluff from other shows. Nothing wrong with that, but you're getting the real love from our show. So again, thank you so much and stay spooky.
Thank you.
Thank
you
you
for having us.